Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So, tons and tons of messages coming through this morning. And it's interesting because it's topics that I'm so aware of, but I really just don't speak out about them in a platform like this. I may with clients, close friends, but most of the time I keep things like this going on up here. So I got no squablum. Put it out here. I do not fear anything, and whatever it is will be, and I will handle whatever it is with grace. So, anywho, let's talk about this hybrid situation because we're seem to be all over this UFO disclosure and all this stuff regarding all this stuff, okay? And it's getting a lot of attention for those who have been following it, and then for those who are new to these kinds of subjects. But, when we talk about the hybrids and things, people want to think that that's, oh, this superior race has been mixed with humans and they come down and they have all this superpower and all this other stuff. And that's not necessarily how it is. So when we're doing all this mixed breeding and experimentation, it's just that. It's an experiment in process. And it's an experiment that is ongoing. So we already know about the Holocaust and all the things that were exposed 20, 30, 40 years later about survivors who were experimented on. We already know what goes on in institutions that are mixed breeding dogs and cats, and then those who are experimenting on mice and so on in the name of medicine and so on and so forth. So with that being said, my guides were showing me, there's a reason why you don't experiment and mix breed on mountain lions and bobcats, and you don't mix breed rats and mice, and you don't mix breed chickens and ducks, and you don't mix breed what was a couple other, a wolf and a dog, things like that. A lot of the dog snapping that was going on the last 30 years was because of mixed breeding. And so you need to understand that the gene pools are not all the same. And so you're forcing these things into the test tubes, and then you're trying to see what the outcome is, and then they're disposing the ones that don't work. And then the ones they think work, then they're putting out into the public, and there's still some snap factors going on. And so we also need to take a look at, when we talk about the UFO community and women who have had their eggs taken and then hybrided up in other densities and underground and so on and so forth. And it's just doing a lot of experimenting. And so we know that as trying to rescue some of the children, right? And so why would we do all that? Why would that be done upon us and so on, and whether we agreed or didn't agree in the what was really considered the dirty incarnation cycle, okay, that was designed to trick you into coming back and redoing certain things and agreeing to certain things. And so anyway, that's a whole other topic. They're telling me, my guide team's telling me, let's not get off topic. So when we're talking about like all these hybrid children, we are talking about things that have happened against our will. So you'll hear people talking out here right now about how they were removed from their mother and all this different DNA things would occur, and then the embryo would be put back into the mother, and then now they're a mix of all these things, and then therefore now they have connections with all these different UFO races within them, and so on and so forth. And that's not necessarily a good thing, okay? It's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying it's information that you need to be aware of in order to think in a logical and rational way, because we are first and foremost humans. And we are humans here to evolve into homeoluminous. And so there's a lot of breeds that want to know what is that human got in them that's so unique and special with this godspark stuff, and how come we as a race only have part of it, or we as a race are just diminishing, and we need to figure out how to keep a race going. So how do we change things? We as humans, I have seen in my visions, are changing into new civilizations. Now, what exactly that looks like, it's difficult for me to explain, but it looks pretty freaking awesome. It just means we're growing in our God self, and we're expanding in our abilities of knowing who we are as a human in our physical sensories and our spiritual sensories, without all this DNA experiment that much of it's gone wrong. Okay, much of it's gone wrong because nobody can steal your God spark. Nobody can steal your God sensory systems. Nobody. Although people are trying to put everything in a petri dish, whether it's in a ship or underground or on another planet. It's been going on for a long friggin' time, folks. But if you really want to get into a physical, tangible thing to go look at, I would go look at some of the things that happened, before, during, and after the Holocaust. We already know about Project Paperclip and how a lot of these insane scientists were now brought over into the States and into other countries to continue their, craziness, which is doing what? It's causing harm. It's causing harm. And so I just really want everybody to just start looking at things in a little bit of a different angle. So we have a lot of man-made, created movie set theater BS going on up there, right here, down there, over there, a lot of it. And so it really boils down to owning your freaking human self in every droplet of your human self. And to learn to tune in to the human sensory systems. Not just your sight and your smell and your taste and your hearing, touching, but your peripheral energetics. And learning to look at things as everything is filtering in and out as information to you. Take away from everything that you've been taught and develop your physical eyesight. Develop a keener sense of smell. Develop a keener sense of taste. Keener sense of hearing. Keener sense of touching. Then you'll work with a keener sense of inner sight, inner ear hearing, inner taste, inner sense of smell, and then the energetic touch and the peripheral energies. Those are the things, my friends, that are acutely critical in this chronic time of flying debris of information, and some of it is way off base and is taking you away from this experience as a human by keeping y'all cray-cray up here in the ricochet rabbits going on all up in here. You're forgetting to connect with the blood-brain barrier and the brains within the body and within the DNA of the God Source Self. Many of my clients have been able to get into memory banks where things have occurred. And two things generally will occur. They'll want to stay with the implant to understand why it is that they allowed it, and perhaps because they have a bleeding heart and they really want to help a particular race, or they've been convinced that they're helping a different race. The second response is usually, get that the hell out of me. I don't want that crap. And some of that's fear-based, right? And then now I'm getting more of the third. Let me be with this. Let me see this. I see it. And I command the release of it. I command the absolutely no more without my full conscious consent. So we always say we have to clear the path in order to see more clearly. Well, if you've got all these little things, including old programmings, teachings of this lifetime, etc., that don't serve, you've got to clear the scum in order to get to clear waters of information. These are all metaphors, and you know what I'm talking about. When they give me topics to talk about, they say, sit down, turn on the camera. So I was like, okay. So I sat down here, turned on the camera, and this is just flowing out of me. Because this is what the information and the stories that I'm getting from my higher self. Because I've already cleared myself on many different lifetimes and levels with many different healers and mentors and teachers that I've worked with, which helps me become who I am. Hey, my light's going out. I don't know why, but it is. So we'll just have to deal with it. Anyway, let's not play with the light anymore. So that was enough of the distraction to be able to say, let's end this here. I want you to really think about what I'm saying and get into that human, physical, beautiful avatar that you are, and learn to really hone in and master your sensories within that. Before you try to bring in more information and try to digest it that is way out of your realm of understanding. And once you begin to really hone in on the physical sensories, you will tune in to the spiritual sensories, and then you'll be able to feel through all of this like that. Get a session with me, and I'm not keep promoting myself, but I am seeing people really be able to completely change their perception and their perceiving and their energetics, and really raise the light up on these other sensories, so it becomes so part of you. You become the human that you're supposed to be, and getting rid of all the stuff that is just in your way, clouding, masking as important information. All right? So Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Your comments are important to me, and let me see if we can get on this path together. I'm here to assist. It's what I am doing as a human. I'm here to assist. All right? So much love.